Hi, my name is Billy Flowers and welcome to my channel where I talk about velocity banking and how we can use this strategy to massively pay off debt. So in today's video, I'm going to be continuing where we left off on the last one about paying off a 2025 Honda CR-V and just breaking down the steps and how we're going to pay this brand new car off. So let's get started. So as a recap, we're going to start off with our four key numbers. We have our income of $5,000. Our expenses are at $4,500. Our debt, which is our brand new car, is at $33,700, and our cash flow is at $500. Now we do have our debt tool, a line of credit for $10,000 at a 15% interest rate. Our car payment is at $564.89 per month with a 6.4% interest rate and a 72-month or 6-year term. So now we're going to get started on the breakdown of what we did to pay off this car. So when we did our first chunk in the last video, we started off with our balance of our car, $33,700. And what that immediately did, when we put that $10,000 chunk on the car, it put it down to roughly $23,800 on the amortized schedule, which pushed us all the way out until September of 2026. Yes. And remember, it took us 23 months to pay off that $10,000 line of credit with the $500 cash flow. So if we took 23 months of payments on the amortized schedule, it would take us out all the way until August of 2028, and our balance would be around $13,100. So that's the balance we're going to be working with starting right now. So we're going to take another $10,000 off of this $13,000, and this second chunk is going to put our balance around $3,300. I'm giving a little room for error just looking at the amortized schedule. So we're going to be around $3,300 left on the car. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the same exact thing that we did last time, month one. We're going to start with our $10,000. Our income is going in, lowering the balance down to $5,000. Our expenses are coming out of $4,500, raising the balance up to $9,500. We're going to get charged $118.75 in interest, raising the balance up to $9,618.75 at the end of month one. Month two, income in, expenses out. Interest we're getting charged is $113.98, raising the balance up to $9,232.73 at the end of month two. Month three, income in, expenses out. Interest, $109.16. Balance is going to be $8,841.89 at the end of month three. Month four, income in, expenses out. $104.27 in interest, raising the balance up to $8,446.16 at the end of month four. Month five, income in, expenses out. Interest, $99.33, raising the balance up to $8,045.49 at the end of month five. Month six, income in, expenses out. $94.32 in interest, $7,639.81 is the balance at the end of month six. Now, it's time to really pay attention. So let's get this rolling. We got our income coming in, our expenses coming out, raises the balance up to $7,139.81, $89.25 in interest. Our balance is going to be $7,229.06. Now, the reason I put this little asterisk here is because Guess what? Guess what happened during these 7 months? Remember this little balance I said we had left? What have we been doing this whole time? Like I always like to say, we've been paying our car payment this whole time. And with the balance being this low in the amortized schedule, each month, starting off, $544 is going towards the principal when we're making these monthly payments. And it's going to continue to go up just a little bit, after every single month. But let's just say $544. And we did it for 7 months. What is 7 times 5? Anybody know that? Elementary. You remember your times tables? 7 times 5 is 35. So 3,500, right? That's greater than that, right? So that means that in the month 7, we paid our car off just by the regular monthly payment. So that means we're done. The car is ours. We about to get the pink slip, right? This car's paid off. So what is that going to do? We're going to have no expenses now, right? Our expenses are going to go down by the car payment that we're paying. This $564.89. It's going to come off our expenses of $4,500. So now our expenses is $3,935.11. And what else did we get? We got that cash flow, right? We got it. Our cash flow is going to go up to $1,064. Now, yes, now we have a 1,000 plus of cash flow. So what are we going to do on month 8? Month 8, income's going in. Now our new expenses are coming out, right? 39, 35, and 11 cents, raising a balance up to $6,164.17. Now the interest that we're going to get charged, $77.05, raising a balance up to $6,241.22 at the end of month 8. Month 9, income in, new expenses coming out. Interest we're getting charged now is $64.70, raising the balance up to $5,241.03 at the end of month 9. Month 10, income in, expenses out, $52.20 is the interest, raising the balance up to $4,228.34 at the end of month 10. Now, you know me, once our balance gets under what we're putting in, I like to flip the numbers because basically we're using our line to pay our expenses now. So I'm going to show you that until we get down to 0. So we have the 4228.34 as our balance. We have our new expenses coming out, raising the balance up to $8,163.45. We have our income going in, and that's going to lower the balance down to $3,163.45. And the interest is going to be $39.54, raising the balance up to $3,202.99 at the end of month 11. Remember, when I do the flip, we have the expenses coming out first and then the income going in. That's why these numbers are reversed now. So in month 12, we have our expenses coming out, right? We have our income going in, lowering the balance down to $2,138.10. Now the interest we're getting charged is $26.73, raising the balance up to $2,164.83 at the end of month 12. We have month 13 here. We have our expenses coming out, our income going in, lowering the balance down to $1,999.94. Now the interest is just $13.94. and 75 cents. You're not even gonna feel that. You're gonna this interest gonna get charged, and you're not even gonna notice. It's like, well, I didn't see nothing. You ain't gonna see this. Raising the balance up to $1,113.69 at the end of month 13. Month 14, we have our expenses coming out, our income going in. Look at that. Now we have a balance of $48.80. Interest we're getting charged is $7.32, raising the balance up to $56.16 at the end of month 14. Like, I know once you see this balance right here, there should be some relief coming down on your shoulders, and you already know that we are almost done. Next month, we have our expenses coming out, raising the balance up to $3,991.23, and you already know what time it is. This balance right here is lower than what we've been putting in, our income. We're just gonna zero it out, and we're done. Another 15 months, we're done with this line. The first chunk took 23 months. This chunk only took 15 months. And that got accelerated because we had that cash flow gain in month 8. Just imagine if we had that cash flow this whole time. This payoff would have got cut in half. But we started at month 8, and it shaved all that time. You got all that time back. We paid it off in 15 months. But let's just imagine that we were also using a credit card in conjunction with this, right? We're getting 1% rewards. This whole time, that would equal $432 in rewards if we did this whole time. At 1.5, $648, right? So what do you think if we would have got these rewards? You think that would have shaved off some time? You think that would have shaved off some time? Do you also think that it would have shaved off some of the interest that we got charged? Because if we have $1,200 just sitting in the credit card every month until we pay it off in full, right? Would it be sitting in this line of credit gaining interest? No, it wouldn't. So our interest cost would have been lower this whole time. The whole time we've been the first 23 months and this second 15 months. This whole time we would have been getting charged less interest. But I'm not even going to factor into that. So I went ahead and added up all the interest like I always like to do, and it came up to $2,424.54. And what do I always like to do? I want to see if we actually paid the 15% interest on a line of credit. Let's see if we beat that. So what are you going to do? You're going to break out your phone. We're going to go on Google, and we're going to type in $2,424.54 is what percent. How much money did we use on a line of credit? We used 2 chunks of $10,000, so $20,000. $2,424.54 is what percent of $20,000. And I already put that in my phone. So what we got here? 12.12%. Yes, 12.12%. That's how much interest that we actually paid on the line. It says 15%, but we beat it. You know, this is not too bad. You know, in other videos, we were down into the single digits. Why? Because our cash flow was higher. So you'll see here, the lower your cash flow is, the closer you're actually going to be to whatever the percentage is, the interest rate is on the line of credit. The higher your cash flow is, then the lower you're going to pay in interest. I mean, it's kind of like common sense, right? If you're paying, if your cash flow is higher, that means that you're paying off the debt faster, which means that you're going to be paying less of this right here. So say for instance we had the 1,064 this entire time. Well, that's going to cut down our payoff rate, right? So that just would have cut this in half. So we would have been 6% or maybe less. So this is how this works. And we paid off this 2025 Honda CRV in this amount of time. It took us 23 months plus another 15. So we're talking let's just say 3.5 years, somewhere around there. But we have a 6 year. Well, this is 72 months. Yeah, that's 6 years. So we paid it off in about half the time. I'll take that, because one thing you can't get back is time, and we also saved money in the meantime. Crazy, right? This is velocity banking right here. This is how you beat the bank, and this is how you save money in the meantime. And we got a brand new car on top of that. We're riding around with the pink slip now. It's a win-win. So I just want to thank you for tuning in today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. And like I always say, get that cash flow.